Well, what you play with obviously so many people, but what do you get out of doing Pluralone as a solo act, as the guy in charge, the
Yeah,
guy
well,
who?
I mean, as of now, I've just been in charge of myself and when to turn up at the studio, which I rarely do a good job at. But yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing about this record because I very luckily have this relationship with Andrew over at ORG, which is the label that puts out the record, and he'll just put out my records for me.
Oh,
And
it's convenient.
when I was playing with the Chili Peppers, it would just sort of it would exist, and the few people who cared would go find it, and that would be it. Now that I'm not playing with those guys anymore, and it's so fortuitous that this record exists, and I can stand behind it. It's because if I had been dismissed from the Chili Peppers and then went and made a record the
Mm-hmm.
next week, it probably would have had a strange energy to it
Yeah.
that would be sort of kind of impacted by what had just happened. So luckily this exists, and it's funny that it's the one that I'm standing and behind, and this is my solo quote unquote record. But I'm just so thankful that I made it and that it
As am
exists.
I. But I guess that's interesting that you bring that up with the timing. Is that I assumed, or maybe other people assumed, that um, maybe you saw some kind of writing on the wall or something, so you were like, I'm going to focus on my solo stuff because I might not have this other band going on. Like, was there anything that you maybe was the timing just a coincidence, or was
It
there
was
something where you're like, I'm going to have something else going on just in case?
It was kind of a coincidence, I guess. Just as I said earlier, it's hard for me to sit still, so I'm always doing something. In the past, it was with a band, and then this time around, it was just sort of on my own, so it was seemingly solo. But you know, um, my focus was always the band, and right whenever the band was working, that's what I was doing. But I guess it's hard to say. I never saw this coming. What wound up happening with John coming back, but I guess it's just it, yeah, I mean, I guess it just speaks to never wanting to stop writing and working, like you said, writing on the wall. I mean, I just writing songs and singing them and being the person who's responsible for the reaction from people and whether it affects them or not is something that I've had the ability to do, and then I retreat from because then I go back into the band or I'm sort of on the
Mm-hmm.
side. And yeah, I mean, I guess just always trying to work on that and do it more and kind of be more comfortable in that role is something that I was just always doing. So I can't say I saw it, but I'm glad that I kept doing it.